Hey everyone, Aiden here. I meant to do this video much sooner than today, but it's just been such a crazy weekend. I've been kind of just all over the place, and so I figured I might as well make it now before it's actually at night when a lot of the ceremonies are practiced. Um, Forgive me for the last minute video. So I want to just talk a little bit about Samhain and what it actually is. I was going to put a link to the most negative viewpoint of Samhain I could, but I just decided that wasn't a good idea, and I just get a whole list of negative comments. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about Samhain. In related to the Wheel of the Year, this is the time where our God essentially dies and goes to the underworld, and this is his beginning his journey into the underworld, and this relates to the sun not being up as long. This is the change of seasons. You know, the sun is no longer coming out and the nights longer while the days are shorter, and this is and essentially, what else is going on astrally is that the veil between the world of the living, and the world of the dead is very, very thin during this time. Unlike any other time of the year, and communication between those who are living, those who passed, who are not in a new life already, can communicate. And many times they might be in another life. I don't know. I haven't personally tried to communicate with the dead, mostly because I'm very hesitant to do that. But I probably will try that one day. I just am constantly doing research and kind of just making sure I'm not getting into something that I can't handle. What else can I talk? Anyways, so communication between to the dead is very common during this time of year, and that's because of the veil thinning. And this is where a lot of the devil worshipping comes in, because it's believed that we communicate with demons and the devil during this time of year, and it's just I'm not even going to get into that. It's just goodbye. It also goes into the whole, because the Celts used to sacrifice animals, and supposedly humans. I don't know if that's true or not. I wasn't around during that time of year, and I only say that because the Catholics are the ones who really wrote down the history back then, if I'm not mistaken. So it's kind of biased. But all history's like that. Anyways, so that also has, with the negative viewpoint of Halloween, that's how it goes with the devil worshipping and blah. Anyways, this time of year, I mean, during this Sabbath, this is meant to also have you think over about the year and kind of think about death, if you will. Not as a way as to fear it and try to cheat it. I mean, sure, we all want to go like Final Destination and cheat death as long as we can and live longer, but that's not the point of Sabbath. And we also don't want to welcome death too early and waste our lives waiting for death. It's more of a time to realize that death is part of life and is part of our evolvement to a higher being. Or not a higher being as much as a higher sense of self throughout our reincarnations. I guess a higher being would work with that. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. So you're not really worshiping death. You're more of just remembering that's part of life. And it's a time, like I said, it's really just a time to remember the ones you've lost. Remember your ancestors. Remember your loved ones who passed on before you. Not to mourn for them, for the fact that they're not there, but to remember how they lived. And remember how much of an influence they had in your life and what kind of lessons you learned from them. and it's a day to honor them. And if you want to communicate, communicate. But I'm a little edgy with that one. Um, and that's basically really it. And kind of, just like I said, look back over the year, and if you have something that you want to get out of and want to change, this is the time to start. One of the things I did in my ritual was I did kind of like a banishing spell, but kind of not. And the idea was that I was getting rid of a negative habit and trying to start something new. In my case, I was getting rid of an emotional thing that I've been having a problem with, and try to think about how I can change that. And I'm starting to begin that and trying to get on my journey to start that, because that was one part I found throughout the year that I had constantly, and I did not like it, so I wanted to change it. So spells like that are good. Although today, if I'm not mistaken, it's either whitening or waxing. I can never get the two. But anyways, this is the time to focus on constructing things, such as an enhancement spell, kind of bit like I don't want to say love spells, although that would work, but like good luck spells, wall spells, stuff like that. Whereas when it's because the moon's starting to go into, it's heading towards full moon, and when it's not, when it's going to new moon, that's when you do destructive spells like banish and all that. Yeah, that's pretty much it on that. Yeah, I think that's it, really. So, my assignment for you is to, even if you don't practice anything, just remember. Remember those who passed on before you. Remember the lessons that you learned. And really think about yourself as a person and all you've done this coming year. This past year. And really think about if there's anything you want to change. If there is, start. If there isn't, okay, just remember what the lessons you learned, and maybe those lessons are enough change. But really think about it. Like, I know a few people who quit smoking this time of year. That's a common one, and I'm not really sure about what else. Like, for mine, I banished. Well, not banished as so much as. Yeah, banish would work. Banish is a good idea. You originally are supposed to do spells. That's spells like banish in this moon phase, but I felt it was kind of right to use, and I also backed it up with an enhancement spell as well. So, yeah, I try. Okay, I want to be straightforward with this. The reason why I don't give details with the spells is because when you go and talk about your spells too much, they lose power. All the energy kind of flows out everywhere else. And so I'm not trying to give away details of my spell at all. But I'm trying to explain what it is, and it's kind of hard not to without me explaining what I did, because I'm not finding the right word. But I guess I'll just label it banishing, because it's pretty much essentially what it was. Anyways, I actually was very, very lucky this ceremony. I actually had 3 people watch me do my ceremony, and they actually all found it interesting, and they realized that Wicca is not evil, and I was really, really happy with that. I almost started crying, actually. And beforehand, I was making moon cakes and hot cider for the cakes and ales rite, and one of them actually helped me out with that. And then later, they actually partook in the spell and did it for themselves. And I lent him a few books and all that, and it was really refreshing. It's really nice to not be looked at as crazy or evil because of my religion, and I was extremely happy with that, and I felt extremely blessed. especially considering I was also redoing my self-dedication ritual that night as well. So that was really, really special, and I will remember that for a very, very long time. I think that's it on this video. If you have any questions about Samhain or what kind of things you can do, just let me know. I will try to reply to you. And happy Samhain, and blessed be.